Wilson Miles from Black Film and TV talking to Mr. Glynn Turman regarding his role as Walter Newton in the Big Cigar. How's it going?
Going good, man. How's it going with you?
Good. You know, you've been around a long time. You've played a lot of different roles. What led you to taking you on Yes and playing this character?
Well, I thought it was a great opportunity to reinvestigate a world that I was on the periphery of when it started, which is the Black Panther Party back in the 60s and the 70s, and some people that I knew personally. And to get the opportunity to tell this part of the story was very engaging. So here I am.
So when you're walking on the set, you're looking as are you looked upon as the unofficial historian?
I guess something like that. I wouldn't be surprised.
So how much did you know about Walter Newton outside of what the script told you?
Oh, well, no, I did not know. I didn't. I met Huey P a couple of times, and I knew Bobby Seale, but I did not know Mr. Newton, and didn't know Huey well enough to have been in that circle, that close, tight knit circle. But so I didn't know that other than what I heard. I knew he was a preacher, and I knew some of those kinds of details, but their relationship and what it was like, I wasn't fully informed of.
So what did you do to rightly embody him so that for those who did know him, who are maybe still alive, this is, okay, he got it right?
Hmm. Well, what I had to rely on for the knowledge that they gave us, which were articles that I was able to read, uh, and pictures that I saw, was more the relationship of the respect that I figured oozed from the telling of the story. I knew that Huey had a great deal of respect for his father, that his father was a man in the community who wielded a lot of respect. He was a preacher, and he was able to address great crowds. And so taking it from there, and along with the respect that I had for André, who was playing Huey, uh, André Holland, we had a great deal of respect for each other going in. So that was an easy build because we had that foundation for one another's work. And so we took that and we ran with it.
You know, there have been different people playing Huey Newton in TV series, in films, on stage. And we're getting a series taking a certain aspect of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot more to be told.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to get a better understanding of who Huey Newton was through this particular series?
I hope so. I hope we get a different understanding. I hope we get a different aspect to consider, because we got to remember it's a fictional story, so that there's a lot of license taken, and it it what I think is the most important thing that we should come away with is that the story of the man and the times are kept alive.
Uh-huh.
You know, contributions are kept alive. The import of what the Black Panther Party was, that it existed, and why at such a time did it exist, that those stories continue to surface. Uh, and if this different aspect of that same story is told in order to keep that story alive, that's a good thing. It lets people say, hey, did you know this? Or, I didn't know that about it. I had no idea that he made this big break to Cuba, that he was a boy evading the search and went to such an extreme. It tells a different story. It's an exciting story. It's a make believe story to a degree, but most most stories are. Most legends are. You don't get legend without some sort of fiction in it. So there you have it.
You get to go back and forth between doing a television project and films. I know you've got the Kevin Costner film coming up. You do different genres. I saw you in Percy Jackson. What makes you say yes to the projects you take?
I first of all, I love what I'm doing. I
Mm-hmm.
still love it. I've been doing it a long time, and I'm still enthralled by it. And sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes I see an acting challenge in it. Sometimes I look at it and I say, "Wow, what can I bring to that as an actor?" You sometimes I hear a commentary, uh, a social commentary in the writing that I'd like to say. Or that I'd like to be a part of telling that, adding that awareness to society through my art. You know, you got to remember, I started in one of the most controversial shows on Broadway many, many years ago. And for its time in its day, it was as controversial as it got. From the actors to the directors to the writer. Talking about A Raisin in the Sun with it being the first Black show on Broadway, the first Black woman to have written a show, the first Black director on Broadway, first Black star to star in a show, a drama on Broadway. So I had a high standard from the get go. And so I look for those things that resonate in that direction. And if I hear that and it rings true, I'm on board.
When you've had this longevity of a career, what do you say to actors who want to emulate what you've done? Sometimes it's not easy. If you're a leading guy at some point, it's a pressure to continue to be that guy. But if you could just do the job, where it comes from, that could be lasting as well, which is what you have done. And it doesn't always come easy, and especially for Black actors, getting to work is never easy. So when people come up to you and they want to find a way like how to sustain it, because in the last few years, because of the pandemic and because of the strike, people have had time to reflect like, could I still do this? Should I still want to do this? What do you
Yeah.
say to talent?
Well, that's because you're asking yourself the wrong question. If you're asking yourself, should I do it? Then you're asking yourself the wrong question and you should probably get out. Because the question you should be saying is, I got to do this. I'm going to do this. That's the mindset. There is
Mm-hmm.
no getting out. There is nothing. There is nothing that makes you want to give out, to get out. You know, it's just about digging in. All you got to do, pandemic, dig in. You know, strike, dig in. You're not reading, read some more plays, read some more scripts, write a script, dig in. Don't give out, dig in. The tougher it gets, dig deeper in.
Before I let you go, obviously, the Big Cigar is coming up. There's a lot of stuff that's on. There's a lot of projects out there. Whether you decide to go to cinemas, theater, certainly a lot more projects on streaming channels. What's a good reason to watch the Big Cigar?
Well, I think you're going to get great entertainment. You got André Holland, who's a fantastic actor, one of the actors that I admire very much. I'm a big fan of his. He's going to do a wonderful job of telling the story of this iconic character who's still one of the most foremost characters in our culture, as far as moving our agenda one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
We got Don Cheadle, who I had the pleasure of working with for the past 5 years in a series that we did called The House of Lies, and he's one of my favorite human beings, not just to mention the actor or director, or producer, but just a good man and a talented man. And if you follow him, then you know it's going to be good because he doesn't do anything short of that. And Janine Burrows, who is the showrunner for the show. We did Claws together. And if you like Claws, then you had so much fun with that. This is on that scale of fun, and entertainment. She certainly got an eye for that and runs a great ship. So it has all the elements that makes for good entertainment. And I'm sure you're going to be entertained and hopefully pleased with what you see.
Mr. Thurman, it's been a pleasure wherever you're at. Take care, stay safe. We'll talk down the road because you're always working. Take
Wilson,
care.
thank you. Take care, buddy.